Rip Rogers and Randy were buddies, and that's when they were both single. They were living in an apartment in Nashville, and on Wednesday night, that was wrestling night in Nashville, I just wrestled him. And I guess he was hungry, so he went down to the Waffle House in town, and it's still there. It's on Harding Place Avenue, Harding Place. And he went in there, and he said the place was deserted. So he sat down to order, and the waitress came over, and she was taking his order, and a guy bust through the door. He said, "Hey, everybody, I just got married." And they all knew him because he worked the first shift at Waffle House. Those were his friends. And the waitress left, taking Randy's order, and went over there to hug him. She had to go all the way around to hug him. Oh, yeah. So that interrupted Randy's ordering. And he was hungry. So she came back, and everybody was, they said, "Where are you going on your honeymoon, and what you going to do, and where's the service?" And Savage had nothing to do with it. But all of a sudden he says, "Who gives a fuck?" So the guy says, and everybody heard him. All his friends there heard Randy Savage say, "Who gives a fuck?" It was an open, direct challenge to the guy. And the guy says, "Well, you better give a fuck." And the man said, "Well, I don't, man." Well, that was all it took. So the guy come over to Randy's table. Randy stood up, and all of a sudden it just broke out. They started fighting. And Randy's telling me a story. He says they started fighting, and the guy reached down and pulled out a knife. He was going to cut him. Well, Randy said he hopped the counter, out from the booth, and he grabbed the knife too, and he come back and he's swinging at the guy. And then he heard sirens going, "Wow, wow, wow." Somebody said, "They called the cops, they called the cops." So the little cowboy ran off. So the police come in, and Randy was over in Nashville. Because when you saw him on TV, he kind of was burned into your memory. And the cops knew Randy. And one of the cops who come in had just worked the matches that night. And he told him to calm down, calm down, calm down. He wouldn't calm down. He was agitated. Then now he's disturbing the peace. So now they're going to put him under arrest or detain him to talk to him. But he started fighting them. And they fought and couldn't get the cuffs on him. One guy went to mace him, missed. Randy ducked. He maced the guy behind him. So here's the other cop going, "Ah, ah!" It was Keystone cops. But this time in the Waffle House, they have floor-to-ceiling, windows. Yeah. So you can see everything from the parking lot. And then they called the other cops. Here comes some backup. So the cop walks in, and he knows, and he had worked the matches that night. He was like a supervisor. This was about 12 o'clock at night. And he said, "Randy, relax and surrender," or whatever. And he said, "Fuck it, man, not me. You're getting the wrong guy. He's getting away. He ran." And they told him to calm down. And he still wouldn't calm down, so the guy just ordered the dog. So while Randy, they kept telling him, "Give yourself up, surrender." No, he won't do it. Brought the dog in, and he told him to do it, and Savage reached out and kicked the dog. Then they turned the dog loose. The dog ate him a new asshole. So
I guess Jarrett had to get him out of that one.
No, Nick Goulas got him out of that.
Oh yeah, because it was
Nick Goulas got him out of it because Nick Goulas, all he did is make a donation to the police league, and they dropped the charges and all, and they didn't want to go through the prosecution and all that. It'd been great publicity for Randy, but not such great publicity for the police department. So he just gave a donation to the church, to the police league or whatever, and they dropped the charges.
That's a good lesson for everyone, to remain calm when the police come.
Oh, yeah, especially for the dog. And even years later, Randy never forgot anything. And I guarantee you he remembered that dog. Now, of course, the dog died probably a few years after that, or 10 years after that, or whatever. But I guarantee you, Randy had it in his head that if he could, he would kill that police dog. If he could, he'd get even somehow. Because he never forgot any slight
Right.
or anybody kind of fucking him around. And
what do you think he would have thought just on this subject? Because we know that Lanny told me this himself before whatever money he got from WWE, that Randy was insistent before he died that he wouldn't go into the Hall of Fame unless Angelo and Lanny were also in. And then whatever deal was made, Lanny caved and Randy was put in by himself. Do you think Randy would have been happy about that? Because we all know he loved his father a lot.
so Randy went into Hall of Fame by himself?
Yes, and I guess his pre-death wish had been
That they all go in as a family?
family, because the Von Erichs had gone in as a family.
Well, I can see that. Because Randy and Lanny and Angelo were very, very close. I mean, in business, outside business, as a family, they were very close. And it wouldn't have bothered me if they'd went in there with the family. I don't know what was the big deal about that anyway. Why didn't he put the whole family in?
Probably because Randy wanted it, and you know how it is.
Well, Randy was held out, I heard, a long time because of a personal issue.
Yeah.
So.
No, but that's my theory, is the personal issue is probably why they just wouldn't have put the whole family in. But Lanny
inducted him, correct?
I think Lanny introduced Hogan, and Hogan was the one that inducted him, which is another thing Randy might not have been happy about.
Yeah.
But,
he was driven. When I worked with Randy, I'd have to slap myself in the dressing room to get ready for him.
Right.
Because I'd have to get myself psyched up to go wrestle him. Because if you left your aggression in the dressing room, he just beat the shit out of you.
Right.
So, great worker too.